Wasted World of Sports, ahoy! Welcome along for another weekend of NRL action. Kicking off tonight, Raiders, Cowboys. The milk versus the cow. Interesting, right? The milk versus the cow. I'm going to have to go slightly in favour of the home team. I think the milk wins it. Can't get the milk without the cow, of course, but the milk gets it tonight. Canberra Raiders, as much as it begrudges me to actually go for the Raiders in anything, and it's always a tip that I'm happy to lose, but we're on board with the Raiders tonight. Don't be surprised at all if I end up swinging towards the Cowboys, and if it seems like I'm cheering for the Cowboys, that is just such my hatred for the Canberra Raiders. That's all that it is. I actually think, tipping-wise, Raiders to win. But as I say, a tip that I'm always happy to lose, and so if it seems like I'm very happy about the Cowboys getting on top, that's the reason why. So welcome along. Nice to see you all, Payten, over there on Twitch. Welcome. Cowboys on top, says Payten. Heel Fries. Did you hear that Radradra might come back to the NRL? I really hope he comes back to Parramatta. Imagine this, though. Imagine, and I'll come back to that, because Robert M. is also here, and James83. Ahoy, my friends. Welcome. We're ready for another weekend of NRL action. Round 6, and a huge game. A huge game coming up this weekend for my Sharkies. Travelling to Melbourne to take on the Storm. I haven't decided if I'll stream that game yet. I probably will, because I stream everything else, but I'm always a little bit cautious about streaming the Sharks games, especially ones I anticipate they will lose, because I have a tendency to spit the dummy, and it'll just be interesting to see if the Sharks are getting a bit of a touch-up. It'll be interesting to see if I'm able to keep my game face on and actually, screw it. I'll do it. It'll be a good test. It's a rather meaningless game in terms of the competition. It's not like it's a knockout elimination final or anything. Might be a little bit different if it was a final series. But anyways, focusing on this game tonight. Raiders, Cowboys. Who will score the first tries? Well, you know what? I reckon Cowboys for first try scorer. So let's see what we've got. Because the Cowboys have scored the first try 4 out of their last 5 matches, and the Raiders have given up the first try 4 out of their last 5 matches. So when you get statistics that marry so nicely together, it's hard to resist the urge to go for something along those lines. We are going to run out of time, of course. I won't have a chance to get a multi on tonight for this game. I don't think I can pull this off before kickoff. I might be able to sneak on. Let's just see. What are the Cowboys' first try scorer? Let's see if I can sneak this in before kickoff. First try scoring team. First or last try scorer. $5.50. Let's just quick, because I'm running out of time. And I've got a $10 bonus bet with Neds at the moment. So let's use that. So for $5.50, I've just gone first or last try scorer to be Kyle Feldt. First or last try of the match, Kyle Feldt, North Queensland Cowboys. I had a $10 bonus bet sitting there with Neds, so I was running out of time. I had to slap something on. Slap. But I'm not talking about sunscreen. I'm talking about sports betting. Oh, God, here we go. My most hated part. The reason I hate the Canberra Raiders as much as I do. The worst thing that's ever happened to rugby league. Here it comes. Here comes the goddamn Viking clap. Oh, look at these idiots. Oh, you look like a bunch of goofs. Honestly. Watch the games back and look at how stupid you all look, okay? And then stop this nonsense. All right, I'm officially on board with the Cowboys now after seeing that. This is why I can never go for the Raiders. This is why I hope that they are perennial wooden spooners. That goddamn Viking clap. The worst thing that's ever happened to rugby league. Byron Davidson, ahoy! James 83's got a same-game multi. Kyle Felt, Jordan Rapidar, and Jack Whiten. Please, for the love of God, Freddie, keep that man away from the Blues. And overs. We're going over the... What is the total match points, actually? Over 40.5. That's what it says here on Ned's anyway. Ned's says over 40.5. That's a lot of points. And here we go. The Raiders are kicking off, and the Cowboys will get first use of the footy. We are, of course, streaming on Discord as well. If you don't have access to the game, feel free to jump on Discord and view my screen. You will see exactly what I see. Well, I see. Never mind. SRV Toxic, ahoy there, mate. Go the Storms, but I respect the Sharks because of me. Don't respect the Sharks just because of me, mate. It's all good. You will find in time, as this channel continues and whatnot, you will discover in time that it's all just a bit of friendly banter. So, yeah, don't feel the need to hold back. I will certainly not hold back my dislike of certain teams. Don't you worry. We're all mates here, and if you can't handle a little bit of friendly banter about your teams, then I suggest, I don't know, soccer. They can't handle the banter in the soccer, can they? The fans, holy hell. Some of those European soccer fans, riots and stuff. Unbelievable. Anyways, Papa Leahy taking it up over halfway. It'll be interesting to see. And there's a penalty to the Raiders. Slightly high tackle. And the Raiders are off to a good start. Oh, God. It took me 30 seconds. It took me immediately seeing that gigantic Viking horn and the Viking clap to immediately turn on the Raiders, even though I have tipped them in the official Wasted World of Sports tipping contest on NRL.com. I've gone the Raiders. I suggest that most people have gone the Raiders, though it will be very interesting to see. Wasted World of Sports. Few tips. Okay, we've got a couple of people going the Cowboys. We've actually got quite a few people going the Cowboys. This game split right down the middle. Well, not really. There's more people that are going the Raiders than Cowboys, but yes, there are a few tips for the Cowboys this evening. But it is the Raiders starting off on attack. Baden says Warriors or Roosters? Roosters. Roosters probably to come. Oh, that was just too easy. And there goes my bet. Who's he calling? He's calling somebody. Trying to call somebody after that. It'll be interesting to have a look at this because generally, if it looks too easy, some shenanigans have gone on. But no, this was just way too easy. He's gone over untouched. Wow. You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of Sunday afternoon down at the park, just having a bit of a muck-around game, and you kick the ball off and you sort of roll through the first set, and then somebody just runs over really easily like that, untouched, and then everybody sort of goes, okay, we're warming up now. That's the warm-up done. Now it starts for real. So that doesn't count. We're starting proper now. That was just way too easy. The Cowboys didn't come out of the sheds. Well, that's actually really lazy from Taumalolo. Is that Taumalolo? Before I just totally, completely rip somebody apart, let me just make sure. It is. That's Taumalolo. That was really, really goddamn lazy. He made no attempt at all to get across there and cover that. Very easy start here for the Raiders. No Josh Hodgson for the Raiders. Oh. Wow, okay, that's interesting. This is the Cowboys' first game outside of Queensland since July last year, I'm assuming. Although, actually, last season was all played in Queensland, wasn't it? So this would be a couple of years since they've travelled outside Queensland. Interesting. So this could be a very disastrous game, basically, the ease with which the... Hello? How are you doing this evening? Huh? The ease with which the Raiders scored that try, just untouched from dummy half through a gap. This doesn't bode well at all. The cows versus the milk, and so far the milk has the lead. And what's he trying to... Just catch the ball, you goof. He's playing the wrong sport. He's trying to play football, football. He's trying to play soccer. Catch the... Wow, the Cowboys. This is just awful. This is atrocious. And that'll be a penalty because the referee called held about 632 times before he got dragged over the sideline. But they still continued to go on with it there, the Raiders, and that's a deserved penalty. It's also Elliot Whitehead's 100th or 200th game in the NRL. Is that right? Unbelievable. That'll be interesting to see. All right, so while we've got a moment there as the Cowboys plug this into touch, Heel Fries was saying at the top of the stream, well, before the stream even started, actually, it was the first message there waiting for me when I started, that Semi Radradra might be coming back to the NRL, and he's hoping that he goes to the Eels. What I was going to launch into and say, imagine, I mean, this will never happen, but imagine he went to the Dragons. Imagine coming up against the Dragons team, and on one wing, you've got, what's his face? Oh, God, but I screwed this up. I screwed this bit up. I've forgotten his name. Ravalawa. You've got Ravalawa on one edge, and then you've got goddamn Radradra on the other edge. The Chad puts an early chip and chase over, and that is the Chad doing Chad things, but to be fair, it wasn't the worst decision in the world, given the circumstances. I'd just like to take the mickey out of the Chad. And very glad that he's gone from the Sharks. But yeah, a chip and chase on tackle 2 is very risky. Valentine Holmes was racing through there, but Valame gets back and covers it up. And they did a good enough chase. And the defender was held back there too, so who knows what that would have come back as. They might have looked at that. Might have been a penalty. But they get the ball back either way. The Cowboys. Drop out from Jack. Keep him away from the Blues squad, please. Freddie Fittler, Whiten. How Big Magic War Dog says, how come I can't see the game in Discord? Well, have you joined the thread? It's always a good place. So it's all right because it was only a bonus bet, but yes, I lost that first to last try scorer. So in Discord, you need to actually go into watch games live. You can't just join the Discord and it magically appears. I should note you actually have to click on the thread that says watch games live, and there it is. Fifth and last now, Cowboys. 15 meters out. The Chad with a grubber that comes off the Raiders and deflects. And that made it very awkward for Nickel Clockstad, but he covers it up nicely in front of his posts. Raiders survive. Not much of a threat, to be fair. Defense holds up. Away they come from their own territory. Home crowd cheering for a penalty. Screaming for it. Baying for it. And they get it. It is a penalty, Raiders. I don't have a multi on this game, Byron. I didn't get a chance. Did not get a chance, I'm afraid. But I am going to have a multi. I'll do a video for it. At some point before tomorrow. So that'll be coming up. But I do have a nice little multi that I'm going to have a crack at that will cover the course of the weekend. So it's not a same game multi. It's going to encompass the whole weekend. Because I think this week there's some good lines and good margins on offer. Because there's some games that should potentially be blowouts and that we can take advantage of, theoretically. So the Raiders now on the back of the piggyback penalty. Well, and an offload here. They continue to get themselves down into Cowboys territory. Kyle Felt there. Every time I put Kyle Felt in any of my bets, he has a quiet game. So it'll be interesting to see if he can pull it together and do something. As I said, I'm always happy to lose this bet. Lose this tip. What a catch there. Caught in the slips. Hiku with the catch in the slips from the kick through. Off the left boot, he takes it down low to the left. Fifth and last here, the Chad takes it up. Puts the stock standard high ball up. And it's an easy take. And it's penalised for some reason, because I guess we've got to give the Raiders a penalty. Claiming contact midair. I don't think there was, but let's have a look at the replay. Up he goes. Okay. He didn't really have his eye on the ball, to be fair. He just jumped up, tried to compete. He wasn't looking at the ball. He only had his eyes on the man, and he jumped, smacked into him. So that's a fair enough penalty. I take it all back. Immortal Wolf, 21, ahoy. How are you there, mate? So I'm going to have to acknowledge that was a fair penalty. And now is another penalty. Oh, my God. This is just a penalty fest. Another relieving penalty here for the Raiders. 4 penalties to 1 so far. Frenchie 21 says, I swear to God, if Semi goes to the Dolphins, I'm not watching footy anymore. And ahoy, see you in the chat. Well, ahoy, Frenchie 21. Hey, Frenchie 21, it's very small on my screen, but is that Alexa Bliss? Is your avatar Alexa Bliss? Here go the Raiders, putting it through the hands, and that's another try. Rapana is over. That just goes to show. I will find Alexa Bliss anywhere that Alexa Bliss may be. And that's kind of scary for Alexa Bliss. They just put that through the hands. Rapana had to reach behind him to reel it in. And where was the Cowboys' defense? Again, where were the Cowboys defensively? How did they not number up here? Okay, so Tuolungi was in off his wing. I mean, I'm interested to see what happened here. I don't understand how they weren't numbered up there. The decoy runner attracted two defenders. Yeah, there we go. The decoy runner drew in 2 defenders, which caused Valamade to have to make a choice to come in off his wing. That's really bad defense. Fisher Publishing. Ahoy there, mate. I try to make as many of these as I can, but it's 5 a.m. Wow. Well, I very much appreciate you. Jumping on here at 5 a.m. and saying ahoy. Yeah, thank you very much for that. 5 a.m. Where does that So it's 8:10 here. Where would it be 5 a.m.? Is that in Europe or is that over in America or interesting? What an interesting kicking style this guy has. He's taking a little bit of a squat before he runs in. Oh, Frenchie 21, that's heel fries on your You've got a wrestling channel? That's cool. US, yeah, okay, there we go. That makes sense. Complete opposite side of the world. Well, unless, well, I suppose even if you do believe in flat Earth, which is totally fine, I'm happy for people to believe whatever they want to believe. But, yeah, I suppose even on flat Earth, it's still the opposite end of the Earth, isn't it? Devil Skull 0, thank you very much for the follow. Very much appreciate that there, mate. Frenchie, it's just all wrestling channels you're summing to, and then there's me. Nice. Well, you do know me, I do have a tendency to stray into some wrestling chat. If somebody happens to bring it up, anyway, I don't do it on purpose, because obviously we're commentating on a footy game. But if it's brought up, I can't help but talk about it. So the Raiders on the back of points get into Cowboys territory for the 5th and last. No, not me, James, but I'm just saying I'm happy for people to believe in whatever they want to believe in. I don't have a problem with it. That's all I was saying. It doesn't make sense to me, flat Earth theories, but, you know, if that's what you're into, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. That's all I'm suggesting. Cowboys now bringing it out. Tackle 4 and tackle 5 now, and they are still in their own territory. 5th and last. Coen Hess is coming off. The Chad puts the kick in. Yeah, I'm just very happy. James, I'm just very happy for people to believe in whatever they want to believe in. And as long as they don't try and thrust that upon myself and respect my beliefs as well, then we'll all get along famously, you know? And that goes for religion as well. I'm not a religious man, but I grew up in a religious family. Both my parents are pastors in the Christian church. So obviously they believe me to be the spawn of Satan in many ways. They still love me, of course, and support me in every way possible, but obviously they're disappointed that I didn't connect with religion in the way that they did, but I can understand why people get into religion. Anyways, let's not get into it. We're getting into some deep territories here, aren't we? And we're trying to watch the footy, as that's another penalty here for the Raiders, because why not? I mean, again, to be fair, it was justified. It was a clear strip. A clear strip. And that's just ridiculous stuff there. He's challenged it. He's done a captain's challenge. Oh, the Cowboys. It just goes from bad to worse. They've challenged a strip. It was the most clearest day strip you will ever see in your life. If it was any more clearer that it was a strip, I would have thrown $10 notes at it. That is the most obvious strip ever. That is officially the worst challenge in the history of the NRL. Or at least it's in the conversation. Terrible. Wow, that was crazy. Heel Fry says this match is boring. That's why we're going off topic. Yes. Yes. 100%. This has been an incredibly boring game. The Cowboys just haven't showed up. The Cowboys, I often say, they're along the lines of the Warriors in that you never know which team is going to show up on any given week. You're either going to get the Cowboys who... There's the Cowboys who will occasionally show up that are like top 4 material. And then you get this. This is the most dire, disastrous of efforts I've ever seen. This is really disappointing. I mean, they really should have been up for this game, the Cowboys. When you look through, oh, there's space here, but that's an awful kick. The Raiders had about 3 or 4 on 1 out wide. I totally understand why he went for the kick across rather than putting it through the hands. They were completely unmarked out there, but the kick was not good. It was a little too hard, a bit too heavy, and over the sideline it dribbles. But it was the right idea because they had them stretched out there. I would have thought if you're looking through the schedule and the form guide so far, you would have had to say the Cowboys were a chance in this game. They would have been looking through, okay, what are the games we've played so far? How have we done? What are the Raiders games so far? How have they done? What have we got coming up? The Cowboys surely would have been putting a little check against this game as one, we could potentially win this. This is one that we could push down to the wire. And now look, at 12-0, only a quarter of the game gone, 12-0. It's not over as far as a contest. But they are going to have to pull their finger out sometime soon to make an effort out of this. Because they just have not showed up so far. That defensive effort by Taumalolo at the start of the game, that easy try 3 or 4 minutes in to Starling out of dummy half, untouched. You should not be running out of dummy half across field 10 meters and be able to step inside untouched through a gaping hole in the defense. It shouldn't happen that early in the game. Late in the game, late in an expansive full-on game where everybody's used a lot of energy. Okay, not good, but forgivable, understandable. A big prop forward like Taumalolo, he's gassed. He's out of energy. He's struggling to get across and cover that gap. And the wily dummy half has sniped and picked out his man. And here's Kyle Felt for a try. Oh, it's gone up as no try, though. But absolutely unforgivable, really. This early in the game from Taumalolo is just laziness. So we're looking for an obstruction. Well, that's not an obstruction. Jack Whiten, get out of here, Whiten, and you go and play football, you diving son of a bitch. That is the clearest dive you will ever see. Oh, Jack Whiten, unbelievable. This is going to be pulled up as a penalty. Oh, give Jack Whiten the Oscar because he's fooled the bunker. But anyway, like they are really enforcing that rule this year, aren't they? If there's any contact, just take a dive. And that's what Jack Whiten did. Oh, that just looks so horrible. It's a blight on the game, and it shouldn't be called. It had no impact on anything. To the letter of the law, it's a penalty, but it had no impact on anything to do with the play as it panned out. Jack Whiten made a defensive read, come in on that man. He then realized that he screwed up, so he took a dive. The worst dive that you will ever see. Football players would have been embarrassed at the level of the dive that Jack Whiten just took. And I hope Freddie's watching this. There is absolutely no way Jack Whiten can be selected for Origin this year. No way. There are so many better, more informed options for the 14 jersey. He can't get anywhere near. He shouldn't even be in the extended squad. If Jack Whiten is anywhere near the squad general, I am going to have to slightly lean towards Queensland for Origin this year. Son of a bitch, I can't stand him. All right, this game is horribly boring, so we are setting up for a dropout. I'll be back. Oh, wow. Speaking of the gaming channel, Heel Fries, tomorrow night after Here Go the Raiders again, spreading it wide, tackle 4. Yeah, speaking of my gaming channel, tomorrow night after the footy, the Friday night footy doubleheader, I will be doing a live stream on my gaming channel. Not of Rugby League Live 4, although that is a good idea. Fifth and last, Whiten with the... Oh, now that is just laziness. Laziness again here from the Cowboys. I don't think he scored the try, but it's just laziness. Whiten with the kick through. And he's knocked it on. He's knocked it on, but just laziness from the defense that they did not get that covered off. Byron Davidson says Broncos aren't looking good for tomorrow. Well, they weren't. Even with Payne Haas, they weren't looking good, to be perfectly honest. Hard to see where victory was coming from for the Broncos, must be said. They're against the Panthers. Maybe it's Suncorp, Suncorp is a little bit of a different beast for the Broncos, isn't it? So, but traveling to Penrith to play the Panthers, I can't see them getting close, and it actually is going to form the basis of a big multi-game weekend betting multi that hopefully wins us some money. Yeah, so 12-0 Raiders. Not a whole lot to say about this game so far. Running through the motions. The penalties are insane. The Raiders have just been getting all the penalties. To be fair, they've been justified. And there's a chance for an insert. And Valentine Holmes, out of nowhere. It'll be 6 again. Can this spark something from the Cowboys? Anything. Anything at all. Can they give us something to get excited about and make a contest out of this? Short ball. And he's knocked it on. They cannot do anything. They cannot do anything out of this. Do I want any tips? Any tips for what? Any tips for betting on for the rest of the weekend? Oh, my Maltese. Well, it couldn't hurt. We're all right. I think we're still in profit because we got that big win. We got that big win in the Panthers Dragons game. The Panthers Dragons game, we got that big multi-win. So, and here's another penalty for the Raiders. They did not get the scrum set in time. 7 penalties to 2. They're just penalizing themselves out of the game here, the Cowboys. Oh, man, I tell you what, it must be so difficult for the commentators at Fox Sports, Channel 9. I'm assuming this is on 9. It must be so difficult for them to focus on the game when the game is this dire. See, people have said that Titans... What was it? Titans-Tigers. The Titans-Tigers game, people have said, is the worst game of rugby league in history. I actually didn't find that. It was terrible from a skills standard. The skills on show, awful. But the game itself, I thought, as a neutral, didn't have a dog in the fight, as they say. Neither one of those were my teams. But as a neutral, the game was constantly close. Yes, the skills were unbearable from both teams, but it was a closely fought contest for 80 minutes. And it literally went down to the last kick of the game. What more can you ask for as a neutral watching a game of rugby league? What, this dross, I don't know what the word is, this utter dross that's been served up by these two teams. While the skills on display are slightly better than that Titans-Tigers game, it just doesn't feel like it's a contest. The Cowboys have just not showed up for this game so far. They just haven't showed up. and it's very hard to get into. They need to do something to wake us up here. And here is Taumalolo having a really quiet game, having a really lazy game, to be perfectly honest. He's playing like he's hungover. And trust me, I recognize a hangover. Come on, Cowboys, do something. This is your chance. You're down the Raiders' end again. Tackle 4. 12 meters out. This is your moment. 10 minutes to go till halftime. The Chad. Oh, drink water. And he's taken over the sideline. And that is just nothing. They've just thrown nothing at them. Again, nothing at all. Just a completely wasted play. Going across field. And they just shadow them into the sideline and into touch. A bad pass out in front of the receiver. Terrible stuff. This is just awful. Oh, Brandy Alexander. Brandy Alexander on the Fox Sports commentary, echoing what we've been saying. He literally just said, that is the most boring attack I've ever seen. And if Brandy Alexander agrees with us, then we're onto something. So, whilst that's going on, somebody asked me about AEW. Fisher Publishing, LLC, AEW, comments. Not interested. I gave it a chance, Fisher Publishing, but, I'm the type of person where... I'm the type of person that I don't respond kindly to being lied to, and AEW lied to me. Because before AEW started, before they held any show at all, they were promoting themselves as, we're going to be an alternative to the WWE that is sports-based. We're going to keep statistics. Wins and losses are going to matter. The closest thing they've ever given us to a simulated sports contest where wins and losses matter is that they did a pay-per-view once on a football field. And that's the closest it's ever come. The wins and losses don't matter, so they lied about that. It's not a simulated sports contest like the old days of wrestling. It's just a circus show between cruiserweights doing flippy nonsense. I hate it, basically. Long story short, I can't stand it. I don't care that it exists. I'm happy for it to exist because it means that there's more working opportunities. Wrestlers out there, they get an opportunity for somewhere else to work and earn a big payday. Good for them. So I can't fault it from that respect. But all it is, it's just a gigantic indie fed that happens to have a lot of money behind it. They're never going to grow. They're never going to grow. It doesn't matter who they bring over, as long as the booking stays the same and the performances stay the same and the presentation stays the same. They're never going to grow. They're going to keep the same 800,000 or 900,000 viewers each and every week. They're not going to grow. It doesn't appeal to the casual audience because they've just lied to us about what it's about. So we gave it a chance. We tuned in. All us casuals tuned in for the first couple of shows. They got over 1 million viewers. And then we went, this is bullshit. We were lied to. And they never came back again. So anyways, yeah. That's AEW. Terrible. Terrible. Awful. Just like this game. This game of footy. Raiders, Cowboys. There's not exactly a premiership threat in the making here in this game, is there? And another call goes the Raiders' way because why not? Why not, indeed? Let's just keep everything swinging in their favor. It's not like it matters because this has been an awful game. Not going to lie. People often ask me why I don't try and get into broadcasting. This game tonight is a good example of why I don't try and get into broadcasting, because you get in trouble as a broadcaster. As a broadcaster, these guys have to try and make this seem interesting. Like all the commentators on TV, they have to make it seem like there is still a game on our hands here. They have to make it seem like it's not been as terrible as it has been. Whereas I will not sugarcoat it. This has been awful. Awful. Whiten with a cutout ball that's gone about 64 metres forward. But it hasn't been called. It's not been called forward. Backwards out of the hands, my big fat Anusi. That was about 72 metres forward. Unbelievable. That pass was so forward and not called. I reckon the Eels would be very proud of that one. Here's an intercept, and from another forward pass, incidentally. This time it was so far forward, the Cowboys caught it in their defensive line without even moving. Well, to be totally fair to this game, if it goes into halftime and it is still 12-0 or the Cowboys manage to score, it's 12-0 or 12-4 or 12-6 or 12-2 even. I suppose it is actually still game on. Should still be game on. All right, so let's see. What else is coming up this weekend? Telstra Premiership Round 6. So, tomorrow, Friday night footy. Double header. I'll be doing both games. 4 p.m. Rabbitohs Bulldogs. 7:55 p.m. Panthers Broncos. I shall be streaming both games. Saturday, I will 5:30 Manly Titans. I'll see how I feel. But I'll definitely be doing the 7:35 Storm Sharks game. Saturday. Well, there's only 2 games Saturday. Only a double header this week, so I'll do both of those. I'll do Manly Titans, and that'll get me warmed up and comfortable for the Storm Sharks game. And hopefully I'll get myself in a nice state of mind where it doesn't really matter what happens to the Sharks. Double header Sunday, Roosters, Warriors, Dragons, Knights. I'll tell you what, the way that this game has gone. Oh my God. Oh, they've just dropped the ball cold. He might have been thinking he was a decoy runner there. And this is just abysmal. The only word I can come up with is abysmal. That's what the Cowboys have served up tonight. A gigantic platter of abysmal. I might skip Sunday entirely, to be perfectly honest. Sunday, 2 p.m., Roosters, Warriors. 4 p.m., Dragons, Knights. Nothing really appealing there. And then Monday, 4 p.m., Eels, Tigers. The only way that I am watching that game, the only way at all I'm watching that game is if my weekend multi is still on. If my weekend multi is still on, I'll tune into that game to celebrate. That might be the only reason that I actually watch. But yes, this has been so far this season, that's been the most dull weekend of games that we've got lined up. Yeah, that it really is a horrible lineup. So, a minute 44 to go until halftime. And 12-0, I dare say, if I can just look for any positive at all to draw out of this game, the Cowboys will probably be somewhat relieved. I'm not going to say happy. They certainly won't be happy. They'll be somewhat relieved if they go into halftime. If they go into halftime, 12-0. But the Raiders have got front foot ball here. And they might be looking for another try before halftime because they may feel, exactly as I'm saying, they may feel like this is not enough given how much they've been gifted in this first half. They might not be satisfied with 12-0. This Robert says, I think this might be the week you and I get 8 from 8, Dan. Quite possibly. Yep. DC, ahoy, lucky it's Easter and probably won't watch any games besides this one. I reckon the Sharks Storm game should be good. If the Sharks play the way they have been playing, they will probably still lose, but it should be a good contest. But outside of that, yeah, it's the drizzling shits this weekend, isn't it? Dragons Knights game will probably be close, but for all the wrong reasons. It might be. Actually, yeah, we might patch into that Dragons Knights game. If I had to choose anything else from the weekend, Dragons Knights, it's got the same makings of that Titans Tigers game. It'll just be a gigantic error fest. A massive, massive error fest. But it'll be interesting to see. I can't believe that this is unbearable. Wow. And this is the problem, isn't it? This is the problem with the problem with the sports. Sometimes you get games like this. So 12-0 at halftime. Jesus, 40 minutes of the first half. I feel like I only spoke about the game itself maybe for about 3 minutes at most. There wasn't a whole lot to say. There really wasn't. It was just the Cowboys just have not showed up at all. The ease with which Starling sniped out of dummy half and went through the gap untouched. Taumalolo just lazy, coming across, trying to cover that gap that early in the game. Summed up the whole half for the Cowboys. Lazy, uncaring. They just didn't show up. I wouldn't say that it's been all Raiders because the Cowboys have actually had a lot of ball. If you look at the statistics, and this is the fascinating part, if we go to the stats here, possession, yes, possession is in favour of Canberra, but only 55% to 45%. 55-45 is not complete and total domination. But the viewing of the game, I feel like, has been total domination everywhere but the scoreboard. 12-0 is not a hugely dominating scoreline. But everywhere, the Raiders are just on top, even if only slightly. Oh, yeah. Raiders. They're good value for their 12-0 lead, but they've hardly set the world alight either. To be fair, the way the Cowboys are played, you would have expected those possession statistics to be slightly more skewed in favor of the Raiders, but interesting. All right, I'm going to have a little break for halftime. Not much else I can say about this game. Really has been a bit of a dire old affair. So, all right, I'm going to have a quick break for halftime. We'll be back for kickoff in the second half, and let's hope that the Cowboys decide to come out for the second half. Hopefully they get an absolute blasting in the sheds, and they come out for the second half and actually try and play. Fingers crossed. Wasted Water Sports, ahoy. Here we go. I tell you what, that halftime break has been the most enjoyable part of this entire game so far. I'm really hoping that the Cowboys get the boot up the anus in the sheds at halftime and they come out and actually try and do something in the second half because, wow, they have just been awful. They really have been. The Raiders haven't been playing well either. The Raiders aren't playing well. The Cowboys have just not showed up. This might potentially be the worst performance so far this season from the Cowboys. And I say so far because I do expect worse to come. Terrible, terrible stuff. 12-0 halftime. Might be the most boring game that I've ever seen so far. Have I watched any good movies? I don't. Yeah, you know what? I watched Free Guy the other night, and I really enjoyed that. Ryan Reynolds. I quite enjoyed that. I know it's not a new movie anymore. It's been out for quite a while. But I only just got around to watching it. I'm not a big movie watcher anymore. I prefer to just binge watch usually Korean series, usually Korean horror series. Korean, Japanese, Thai. Yeah, so all those Asian series on Netflix I generally get into. Although another old one, there was another old one. I believe it was called The Mist. It was a series that was based on the Stephen King novel. It was only one season. It was about 8 or 9 episodes. That was pretty good. We got through that in one sitting. But yeah, in terms of anything new, here comes the Chad. The Chad is leading the Cowboys back out onto the field. And we need to see a little more from the Cowboys here in the second half. Just, if nothing else, just to make this game interesting. As a neutral, I'm sure if you're a Raiders supporter, you might not be happy with the way that the team is playing, per se, but you'll be happy with the 12-point lead. Raiders now back out onto the field, and let's see. Oh, God, it's really hard to get excited for this second half. It really is. After what the first half served up to us, very difficult to get excited for the second half here. Let's hope for something better. There's one idiot in the crowd doing the Viking clap. Oh, she's not happy. Wow. Good Lord. Okay, she's really not happy at all. That girl in the crowd. Cowboys to get us underway for the second half. Raiders will get first use of the footy. Off we go. Valentine Holmes gets us underway. James says 2 quick tries might make things interesting. I'd be all on board for that. A couple of quick tries. Get some excitement into this game. When we've had an entire half and all I've talked about is wrestling and soccer / football and basically anything but the game, you know, that's how dire this game's been so far. That'll be interesting to see. Can this game win me back? That's the underlying story thread, the story arc for this second half. Can this game win me back? Can it garner my attention? A bit of a nothing set there to start off with. Whiten's taking the dive again. Oh, he's a son of a bitch, that guy. I can't stand him. Screaming like he's just been run over by a tank. Trying to get a penalty. Get up, you pansy. What I say. Are you allowed to say pansy in 2022? I'm really not sure, you know. A lot of my phrases and stuff probably aren't considered suitable in this modern age that we live in. But bollocks to it. I'll say it anyway. So the Cowboys, this is what they needed. They are now up into Canberra's territory. Tackle 4. And that's a really slow play of the ball. The Chad, dummies, goes himself. And that's good for the Cowboys. It means the Chad's out of the line for a kicking option. There might be a decent kick on at the end of this set. Drinkwater puts it high. And it's taken easily because there's no chase. No chase at all. And the Raiders claim that easily. Both forward packs have been playing. I'm just curious if you're allowed to say pansies in 2022, you know? People get in trouble for saying a lot of things that we used to say on the regular back in the day. I've never really thought about it. I'm like, are you actually allowed to say pansy in 2022? Fifth tackle now, Raiders, just on halfway. Over on the left edge. Whiten puts the ball into the corner. No pressure on the kick receiver. But it really wasn't meant to be. He was just going for distance. And there's a relieving penalty here for the Cowboys to start this second half. Yeah, we can say whatever we want. Hang on, have I got a sound effect for that? I don't think I do. That's disappointing. Well, that wasn't it. Did that play? Don't think it did. Yeah, I don't think I have any sound effects set up. That gives me an idea, actually, James. That gives me a great idea. I should start. Somebody might have already done it, actually. I should start the most politically correct channel on YouTube. That's what I'll call it. The most politically correct channel. So what would that be? That would be TMPCC. TMPCC.com. The most politically correct channel. And it will be literally nothing. I will say nothing. I will do nothing. I will show nothing. And nobody can go mad on me for anything. Because it will be the most politically correct channel in existence. Huh? I'm an ideas man. See, I've got a background in marketing. I'm an ideas man, and I'm also a smart ass. It's a dangerous combination. Anyway, tackle 2 here, the Cowboys. Oh, they've gone over! Has he held on to the ball? This could be the moment that swings the game and makes it a little bit interesting. It is a try for the Cowboys. So little attention was I paying to what was going on out there. I didn't even realize that they were 2 meters out from the line leading up to that tackle. And he has just barged over. And assuming he's held onto the ball, that's a try. And with the kick to come, it's about to be 12 points to 6. And suddenly, what I was saying at halftime is ringing true. The Raiders would not be satisfied with being only 12 points ahead. They needed more value for that not dominance, but that's authority that they had in the first half. They needed more than 12 points to show for it. And we're seeing why now, because the Cowboys have managed to hit back. And the Chad's happy about that. Look at him in the background trying to hulk himself up. He's excited. You know, Chad Townsend has had the same haircut since, before 2016. But 2016 is when I remember the Chad from. The 2016 Premiership winning Sharkies team. He's had the same haircut ever since. James83 says, did you see all the crap about them banning the word gay? I didn't see that, but I'll tell you a story about my real life. And I work for a corporate organization. My day job, graphic and web design for a corporate. And it was probably about 3 years ago, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago it was. And there was an email that went out. There was an email that went out all around the office that said, we're not allowed to say, we're not allowed to say guys anymore around the office. So me, for example, was somebody who would do this all the time. On a Friday afternoon, I would walk out the front door and I would say, have a good weekend, guys. Speaking to everyone, just guys in general. But because there's girls in the room, I'm not allowed to just uniformly say guys, even though as Australians, we know that just saying have a good one, guys, using guys in that context doesn't mean men, doesn't mean blokes. Guys is just in general everyone in the goddamn room. It's just casual Aussie slang for you all. Have a good one, you all. Have a good one, guys. There was actually a directive that went out prohibiting us from using that in the office. It specifically went out and said, we're no longer allowed to use phrasing such as that. We have to say, we have to use more encompassing terms such as colleagues and whatever else it said. But it was the most stupid thing ever. It's like, and I said to everybody in the office, I said, can you imagine me walking out the door on a Friday afternoon and saying, have a good weekend, fellow colleagues? Obviously, I ignored that directive quite and kept saying, have a good weekend, guys. Kanye, Ketchup, ahoy, mate. Welcome along to the most boring game of rugby league so far this year. Hence why we're talking about all this other crap. What have we talked about so far tonight? We've talked about wrestling. We've, the WWE versus AEW. We've talked about Flat Earth. We've talked about religion. We've talked about movies and TV series. Now we're talking about political correctness gone mad. And I came up with an idea for the most politically correct channel on YouTube. And, what else can we talk about that's not this disastrous game of football? But anyways, the Cowboys are on the attack here. Suddenly, 12-6. The Chad to Dearden. Val Holmes, fifth and last. They're 5 meters out again. Dearden with the kick. Dinks it in over the top, and it's knocked dead by the Raiders. That is actually, Brandy just said that's the best set the Cowboys put together tonight, and I have to agree. But it's not exactly a competitive field. But they have earned a repeat set. And suddenly it's game on. If they go over and score here, and it's 12-all, 30 minutes to go, Suddenly, it's something to get excited about, isn't it? Let's talk about the election. No, let's not. Let's not. Oh, I could not care less about politics. The number of arguments that I have with my mates over politics, it's not even worth getting into. Because I don't vote. I refuse to vote. I don't see what it's pointless. Absolutely pointless. Until they make it worthwhile to actually vote, I don't vote. And the Cowboys get themselves on the front foot and they find new and inventive ways to screw it up. It's a one-on-one strip. Just nickel. Oh, he was down. He was on his knees. He was on his knees there. Get up. Get up. Stop trying to milk penalties. I know you're sponsored by Canberra Milk, but enough milking. Get up and play the ball. You cheeky sod. Fifth and last now, Raiders. They are camped inside their own territory. Schneider with the kick away. Easy take here. And the Cowboys, well, have picked him up and driven him backwards. Oh, he's clipped him around the face. Oh, that's a knock on now, the Cowboys. So after a very promising start to the second half for the Cowboys, business as usual has resumed now. And they knock that ball on cold in the tackle. And the Raiders, that was probably it for the Cowboys, to be fair. 27 minutes to go. Big mistake there on the halfway line. Oh, that was a flat ball. Flat ball to Whitehead. Number 150 for Whitehead. Fifth and last. Raiders ball goes to Whiten, who puts the ball high. Cowboys just stood back and let him take it, and he put another kick through. Oh, and now here's pressure. He's held, surely. How long do you get to... See, this rule pisses me off. How long do you get to pick someone up and drag them back into the end goal? I've seen those penalised. I've seen less than that penalised before. Quick dropout here from the Cowboys. Gets the ball bouncing over the halfway line. I can't believe there's still 25 minutes of this left. How are we going to do it? We need some more topics of general conversation to fill in the gaps between this game. Six again. Raiders. This is hard to watch. Really hard to watch. I should just, the whole stream should just be me asleep in front of the TV. Whiten's gone on his own for tackle 3. Nothing doing there. And then he dry humps the air, trying to get a quick play the ball away. Fourth tackle now. Raiders, they're only 2 meters out from the line here. Oh, short ball. They've turned him on his back, Schneider. He's over the line. It's got to go up as no try. It has gone up as no try. They did manage to turn him around on his back. The defenders. So they got him turned on his... Oh, they didn't get him turned on his back at all. But he hasn't got the ball down. Then they've turned him on his back, held up. No try. And he's laying there claiming it, the cheeky bugger. He's telling us porky pies. Telling us porkies. He's put his finger up in the air trying to claim that one. So 5th and last, we'll come back out to the 10. Whiten grubbers into the end goal, and it's knocked on. And it's going to be more possession here for the Raiders. So James says, did you see the parrot from Aladdin die today? I didn't, but that's more exciting than anything that's happening here in the game. I saw that old man Gilbert Gottfried passed away the other day. That was sad news. This is painful. Painful viewing. A mistake by the Raiders there. And it's still 12 points to 6, so as dire as this game has been, technically still game on here. But they've got a long way to go, the Cowboys. Big run here. Tamalolo, that's what we need him to do. He needs to front up. He just bulldozed that guy. Trevor Daly, ahoy. You reckon the Warriors are going to get up over the Roosters, eh? Interesting. 5th and last, Cowboys. Oh, Nickel Clockstats made a mess of that. It's gone backwards, though, of course. But here's the chance now. Cowboys just need to keep the pressure on in defense, not give away a stupid penalty. And this could be a very good result for them. Papali'i back on the field. He's got his hair tied up. So they forced a defensive kick here. Whiten kicks early on the 4th. Cowboys are back, though. And it's a good kick chase by the Raiders, it must be said. So the Cowboys don't really gain too much out of that on the back of that. That was a nice early kick from Whiten. Just to show I'm not completely biased, and I am happy to give credit where credit is due, even if I don't like the player involved. That was a good early kick. But still, keep him away from the Origin squad. Far away. As far away as possible. Don't even let him on the sideline. Don't even let him buy a ticket into the ground. Keep him that far away. Fifth and last now, Cowboys. 25 metres out. The Chad off the side of the boot. It's an awful kick. Kyle Felt just gets a boot to it. Back in field. And there's a big mistake from Clockstad again. Nickel Clockstad with the second mistake in a row. An absolutely nothing kick from the Chad that's been deflected on purpose by Kyle Felt. And Clockstad has just made a complete meal of it. Advantage Cowboys. Out of absolutely nowhere, advantage Cowboys. A scrum right in front of the post, about 10 metres out. What can they do with it, though? That's been the problem for the Cowboys so far. What can they do with it? They go, well, not really short side. They've gone right-hand side to Hiku, who has taken on tackle 1. 5 metres out. Lots of space over to the left. Do they spread it? No, they hit it up through the forwards. Tackle 2. Left again to the Chad. Short ball to Tamalalo. Carrying 2 guys with him, 3 guys with him, 4 guys with him, 5 guys with him. And he's over the line, but he's held up because he's got 5 guys all over him. We come back out to the 10 for tackle 3. Cotter takes it up, tackle 4. They're still 10 metres out. To the right, the Chad. The Drinkwater. Drinkwater he gets the offload away. Does Drinkwater. Valentine Holmes finds some space and is in under the posts. Suddenly, it's game on. This is under the posts. A simple hip thrust would knock this ball over. It's an easy conversion. It's about to be 12-all. And suddenly, out of nowhere, this complete and utter dog's breakfast of a game is turned into something with 17 minutes to go and 53 seconds. Valentine Holmes just saw the smallest of gaps and went, I've got the speed to get through there. And through he went. Game on. Game on. We basically could have just skipped the entirety of the game up until now. We could have switched on and started the stream right now. And we would have missed nothing. Valentine Holmes is the one. Sorry, I've got an itchy nose. I do not have a cocaine problem, I swear. So Valentine Holmes with the conversion as well. Right in front of the posts. 12 points all. 16 minutes, 47 to go. Over it goes. We are well and truly game on here. Holy hell. Who would have seen this coming? After that first half, who would have seen this coming? Jesus Christ. I'm knocking all my lights over. I'm always knocking something over. Robert M says, I went to school with the Cowboys number 14 in Rockhampton. Who's the number 14? The number 14 is... Oh, Xavier Savage. That's the guy they're talking about. Oh, Granville. Xavier Savage is in 14. Oh, hang on. Cowboys. Sorry, I'm looking at the Raiders 14. Jake Granville. Sorry, yeah. I was looking at the wrong team. Cowboys number 14. Exactly, James. Exactly. This is the wasted world of sports. Please don't expect please don't expect any clarity or what's some other words we can use? The wasted world of sports, after all, you know, we're not meant to be serious. Okay, there we go. RSA, don't expect any essay at all. RSA, responsible service of alcohol. Don't expect any service of alcohol because it's all mine. All for me. All for Dan. Fourth tackle here, Cowboys. Up to the halfway line. Getting themselves into Raiders territory for the fifth and last. Where's the Chad? There he is. The Chad puts the ball high. A nothing kick again, but Clockstat's made a meal of a lot. Oh, and he's hurt himself. Clockstat bringing this back with one leg. Did quite well, all things considering. So, the past three kicks, Nickel Clockstat, he dropped the first one, he dropped the second one, and now he's hurt his leg upon receiving the kick on the third one and limped his way back up the field. So he's not had a good last 10 minutes or so, Nickel Clockstat. And he's off. He's off. Clockstat's off, and Xavier Savage is on. So a past 10 minutes to forget for Nickel Clockstat. The Cowboys are back in this game. Fifth and last, Whiten on halfway. And that's good kick chase, and that's good defense. And the Cowboys are now starting this set. 10 meters out from their own line, playing expansive double passes across the face of the posts. Tackle 2, Valentine Holmes, 11 meters out. And they've really stepped up on a defense here now, the Raiders. They don't want this to go to Golden Point. No, sir. So they've upped the defensive effort now. They want that ball back. They want to take the lead back. They don't want to push this too close. James 83 says, you holding your drink saying, who's your daddy? I don't recall ever doing that. But I could do it. I could do Arnold Schwarzenegger kindergarten cop style. Arnold, you know, kindergarten cop. Arnie, Arnold Schwarzenegger. A drunk Arnold Schwarzenegger sitting there in the kindergarten. Oh, God, that's a disturbing thought. But, I'm trying to remember the line. Because he was trying to locate that. He was trying to locate the kid, or confirm the criminal father of the kid. So he was asking the kids, all in unison, like, who is your daddy and what does he do? Trevor Daly says, your thoughts on Steve Roach as a commentator? Love it. Love it. He gets sidetracked a lot. He reminds me a lot of myself. Steve Blocker-Roach. He reminds me a lot of myself. He gets sidetracked easily. Likes to go off on a bit of a tangent with a funny story from his past whenever he thinks of one. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. It's a good change of pace. And you know what he's on about. Like, he speaks clearly. Blocker-Roach. Whereas guys, you know, like the Thurstons, the Cronks, the Lockiers, you know, a lot of former players, they've got that former footy player croak in their voice. Here's a try for the Cowboys. They are in the lead out of absolutely nowhere. He's hurt himself in the process of scoring the try, but he has scored the try nonetheless. My goodness. Drinkwater, it was, putting the grubber kick through. And Jeremiah Nanai just appeared. Grabs that ball out of the air and plants it down, hurt his leg in the process. But the Cowboys leading. They don't deserve to be leading. They've been abysmal. Somehow. Where to? Oh, look, there's still 10 minutes to go in this game. But where to for the Raiders? Where to for Ricky Stewart and his Raiders? Should this carry on? Kindergarten Cop, what a great movie. So many great lines from that. It's not a tumor. Unbelievable. Kick to come, 16-12, Cowboys out of nowhere have the lead. And this game has suddenly turned into something, hasn't it? Valentine Holmes moves in for the conversion. Strikes it nicely. Of course he does. 18 points to 12. 9 minutes to go. Who saw this coming? After that first half, I mean, I did say that 12 points was not a big enough lead for the Raiders, but I did not see this coming still. The second half has been all Cowboys. As I said at the top, I've tipped the Raiders, but the Raiders is always a tip that I'm happy to lose. Such is my hatred for that goddamn Viking clap. Plus, the more they lose, the less likely it is for Jack Whiten to be in the Blues squad. And because I don't want Queensland to win the Origin, I don't want Whiten in the Blues squad. What can the Cowboys come up with? A set after points is always very important to the momentum of the game. What can they come up with? They haven't started very well. It's tackle 4, and they are still deeply entrenched in their own territory. But worst case scenario, what you want to do is you just want to get through this set and get a kick away. You don't want to make a mistake. A set after points. So they haven't made much distance, but they did get to the 5th and last. They did get the kick away. Xavier Savage has got the ball. And the Raiders start the set 30 metres out from their own line. 8 minutes to go. Tackle 3 now, up to the halfway line. Oh, he shrugs away. He shrugs away from 2. Still going. Tackle 3, just inside Cowboys territory. Papali'i runs into two defenders. Tackle 4. 32 metres out. Good defence there, 5th and last. 25 metres out. What can they come up with? A kick. They go short side. Whiten just dinks it in over the top. It's covered nicely by Drinkwater. And the Cowboys, again, now they're in a position. They just need to get through the set. The Raiders have lifted the intensity on defence once again. They realise that they are running out of time. So they've lifted. They're looking for the mistake. But so far, this past 15 to 20 minutes, it hasn't been coming, the mistake from the Cowboys. They've really tightened up their own game. Taumalolo out of dummy half, taking 3 defenders with him for tackle 4. Well, that was actually tackle 5. 5th and last, inside their own 40, the Chad kicks it deep. Xavier Savage has got it on the full again. And the status quo resumes. The Raiders start this set 30 metres out from their own line. 6 minutes, 15 seconds to go. And this has suddenly turned into an exciting contest because the Raiders said 6 minutes, okay, there is time for 2 tries or 2-point scoring opportunities. But the Raiders will need to think about getting a try very, very shortly. And that's just to level this game up, potentially push it into... That's a horrible mistake! A 1-out pass. Elliot Whitehead on his 150th has had a night to forget there. Well, a moment to forget. I don't know that his entire night's been necessarily bad, but that was a huge moment. Receiving the 1-out pass from dummy half has just dropped it cold. No contact, no contact, no defensive pressure, just out it spat. Completely untouched, completely unforced. Cowboys ball. Now, are the Cowboys thinking drop goal? They might be, because Taumalolo's just centered this. Townsend is lurking back out of dummy half. They go, and it's a one-on-one strip. A one-on-one strip. And the Raiders have got the ball back. So forget about that defensive mindset setting up for the drop goal potentially has worked against them there. The Cowboys, they've given away a one-on-one strip, and the Raiders have got the ball back. 4 minutes 45 to go, and the length of the field basically left. Tackle 3, 30 meters out from their own line. A long way to go for the Raiders just to try and equalize this game. They're now inside Cowboys territory, an offload by Papali'i. Tackle 4, just the Cowboys side of halfway. Whiten gets... they race up on him. 5th and last now, right in front of the post. 30 meters out. Schneider puts it high. Taken well by Drinkwater. It's a penalty to the Raiders, of course. An escort penalty to the Raiders. We've got to keep them in the game. Let's have a look. Was it justified? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. That was just stupid. Drinkwater had that kick covered. It was diffused. That was stupidity of the highest order right there to give away that penalty. And now the Raiders are hot on attack. Oh, Papali'i, of all people, to make the mistake. Origin level player, international level player, Papali'i. Unreal. Oh, it wasn't Papali'i. I take it all back. Sorry, Josh. It was not your fault. It wasn't even him. I think the pass was meant to go to Papali'i, but the other guy, whoever that was, that actually made the mistake, got in the way. So I take it all back. It was not Papali'i who made that mistake. But whoever it was that made the mistake was made, and the Cowboys have got the ball. 2.5 minutes to go. They can just go through. It's okay to blame a Queenslander. Yes! I will drink to that. It's always okay to blame a Queenslander. I thought, you know what? I contemplated, and it's so easy to say this in hindsight, but this was one particular game this weekend that I was really divided over. I went with the Raiders because home ground advantage, but I only went with the Raiders because of home ground advantage. If this game were played in Townsville, I probably would have swung to the Cowboys. So it's very easy to say what if, especially with the benefit of hindsight, but I was really torn in this game. Because the Raiders are just not the team of a few years ago. You know? They're just not. They'll struggle to make the 8. I don't even have them in my top 8, in my bold top 8 predictions. If you've seen the video on the homepage of the channel with our preseason top 8 bold predictions, I have the Raiders missing out completely. Fifth and last now. There's 1 minute and 5 seconds to go. Whiten goes through the hands. No, he doesn't. He dummies. He now gets a rushed offload away to Whitehead. Whitehead now looking for somebody to offload. And there's another mistake. It's off a face. It's off the face. And a dropped ball. And this will be it for the Cowboys. The Cowboys can just snooze their way through this set. And as I said at the start of the stream, a tip that I am always happy to lose is the Raiders. I've got absolutely no problem at all with the Cowboys winning this one. Neither team really deserved to win, to be perfectly honest. It's been a disaster of a game, skill set and quality-wise. But the Cowboys, wow, they've just got one more play to get through. Just thump this into the touch. The Chad, 2, 1, 0. Oh, Raiders have lost again. I love it. Oh, Ricky Stewart's off. He can't even... Ricky Stewart is storming off into the changing rooms. So basically, to sum this game up, Cowboys, Raiders, a little bit of a summary of what we saw happen tonight. We saw the Cowboys just did not show up at all. They did not show up at all for the first half, and the Raiders went into halftime 12-0. I said at halftime, and quite a few of us probably agreed, that for the amount of possession and territory and everything that they had and the amount of mistakes that the Cowboys made, 12 points to 0 was probably not enough. Probably not enough. They probably needed a little bit more, and the Cowboys would have gone into halftime the happier of the two. We came out in the second half, and in the second half, the Raiders just didn't show up. The second half was all Cowboys. And what we said at halftime, as a group in the chat room, we basically agreed 12 points was not enough for the Raiders. They needed more. Cowboys come out. The Raiders don't come out and show up in the second half. The Cowboys decide to start playing. It's all Cowboys. 18-12 at full time, and it proves true that 12 points was not enough for the Raiders at all, and the Cowboys sneak an unexpected and I'm going to say undeserving win, only because neither team really deserved to win. It was an atrocious game of football. Neither team really deserved to win. A golden point, extra time, deadlocked draw would have been fair, really, comparatively. But I suppose, credit to the Cowboys. They They made the most out of what they had available. Just looking at the stats. Just looking at the stats here. 52% possession to 48 in favor of the Raiders. Both teams, 72% Raiders, 73% completion rate. Line breaks were 3 apiece. The Cowboys made some more tackle breaks, 25 tackle breaks to the Cowboys, 15 to the Raiders, but 3 line breaks apiece. Everything else is all pretty even. Errors is what we want to look at. We want to get to errors. So missed tackles is a big discrepancy here. 26 missed tackles to the Raiders, 16 to the Cowboys. Errors, 12-10 Raiders. So pretty even there. Penalties conceded. So the Raiders won the penalty count, 9-6. Interesting game. Gordon Slater. Who's Gordon Slater? Gordon Tallis looks like Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street. I think everybody probably looks a little bit downtrodden and miserable after sitting through that game. But yep, there we go. Cowboys, 18 points to 12 in the end, running out winners. It was a game of 2 halves. It was literally a game of 2 halves. And the Cowboys just happened to score more points in the half that they showed up for as opposed to the half the Raiders showed up for. And that was the difference between the 2 teams at the end of this game, really. Must be said. All right, what a dire old contest. What a horrible Thursday night footy game. Terrible scheduling, terrible game. Mind you, there's some stinkers coming up this weekend, potentially, but we'll see how we go. Thank you very much for joining me for this one. I'm going to call it a night there. I'll see you tomorrow. Friday night footy. Early kickoff, 4 p.m. Catch you then. Cheers.